Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and we're back on softcore, which means it's time to make something reckless and abyssy. So what we've decided to do is go for a Shield Crush Inquisitor, and that is full Fizz to Elemental Conversion. So basically the shield reworks or skill reworks and the addition of Shield Crush are very strong. It's extremely meta right now, so much so that it's actually kind of boring. Because it's pretty damn easy to get going and pretty just guaranteed win kind of thing. This character here isn't anything too special at the moment. For most of the video you'll see him on a 5 link and without an Abyssus. I do put on an Abyssus in the later half of my stream, and then by the end of the video we are rocking Abyssus with the 6 link, and the total budget of the character, given that I'm completely poor and had no money, is something like 50C. I have just bought like a few chaos worth of gear in every slot. A 6 link for 15 chaos, since it's basically the cost of a divine, and crafted a shield with like a couple of dense fossils, and here we are. And it's pretty damn easy to slap together. Shield Crush basically scales very well, likewise with Spectral Shield Throw and Shield Charge off of any armor evasion, and then the new Threshold Jewel, which gives a lot of crit and crit multi for energy shield, is pretty insane. My shield currently has, I don't even remember, like 250, maybe up to 300 energy shield, something like that. And it is extremely thick for our crit. It doubles my crit from 35 to 70 unbuffed. It also gives me 100 crit multi at the moment. So that's why we kind of use a evasion energy shield hybrid shield, because you can get quite a lot of energy shield on those types of shields while still maintaining some evasion so that it gets some good flat scaling. Otherwise the skill is pretty simple. It just throws out a wave and well, throws out 3 waves rather. 2 of those can overlap and then do 2 waves worth of damage. So it ends up hitting pretty hard for single target, mechanically fairly strong. You can just clear with shield charge most of the time in this build if you'd really rather. My shield charge is set up as pure utility right now, but obviously we could go much harder with that and then just dash around and shield charge clear. But it, for the most part, does feel nice to just throw down some shield crushes at the moment. I'm still only doing low tier content since I'm chipping away at a brand new Atlas, so there's nothing too crazy to show off, and the build is still somewhat ramping, and don't have Uberlab, for example. Not quite all the gems and stuff set up, I don't think. No Assassin Mark ring. I'm still working away at things, but any sort of variant of Shield Crush and Spectral Shield Throw should be just about guaranteed winner at the moment. And if you're still looking for something to just get into the league, the Spectral Shield Throw Bleed Gladiators are pretty much the easiest form of win at the moment. But this is what some of the single target looks like on my low tier maps. We are getting up to and trying to get up to 50% shock on most enemies, and as such just about 1 or 2 shotting everything we come across. So these are my first few Conqueror fights, and they're not really fights so much to speak as just a couple of one-shot exhibitions. Feels pretty good. We'll see how it goes in later content if I can get that far, but let me go over how I've built the character thus far. So here's the current character, level 85, Inquisitor called Death Count Ramping. Was going to put on Abyssus, was back on softcore. I was going to go straight back into some reckless gameplay. We are based around the Shield Crush gem, probably one of the simplest gems that you'll see in Path of Exile. Bunch of fizz damage, added fizz per armor or evasion, and then it just hits. And yeah, it's a very simple skill. That's what it looks like. It does throw out 3 shield waves, and 2 of them can overlap. Thus it has pretty good clear, but also can do good single target, as long as you're like close enough to the enemy when doing that. Like I said, chucked in a 6 link, but I was prior to the 6 link using just a 5 link without melee fizz. So it was Shield Crush, Fizz to Lightning, because we are converting full Fizz into Lightning in this case. Shield Crush, Fizz to Lightning, Inspiration, Pulverize, and LE damage with attacks. The other source of our conversion is Storm Charger Boots. because I actually kind of wanted some increased effect of lightning, and as well as that, convenient way of getting full sort of lightning action with some gloves that do fizz to lightning conversion, though it is going to be better to just craft that on yourself, but I don't currently have any crafts. But the idea was kind of to get full lightning so that we're hitting really hard and getting big shocks on enemies. So that's why I've gone full lightning as opposed to sort of a hybrid, since we are still getting plenty of cold damage to freeze things coming from hatred. So hatred is basically all the cold damage we need to still get a large amount of cold that then turns into a lot of crit, sort of high crit multi, enough freeze action. Otherwise, still using a Herald of Ash. But the other main interaction in the build is the Seething Fury Threshold Jewel, 0.2 offhand crit per 10 energy shield, 0.4 offhand crit multi per 10 max energy shield. So that's why we go a sort of hybrid little shield here like this. They can go up to about 1600 evasion and 350, I think, energy shield. So there is still improvements to be made with perfect rolls, but these are pretty good for just a few random rolls. Pretty cheap action to begin with. So there's really not much going on in the build otherwise. Like, I'm just wearing some accuracy to try and fix some accuracy, grabbed some fizz as lightning and some crit multi. Still using a leveling ring, but I'm trying to get an assassin mark ring happening. Just a bit of resists and stuff. An abyssus I only just put on recently. It's not even very necessary in this type of build because the fizz doesn't do much. Since we have a lot of flat fizz, and the crit multi isn't that important either, since we have a lot of crit multi in this type of a build. So with this jewel, as you can see with Abyssus, we've got 576 multi. Getting 600 is quite realistic. That makes it that Abyssus really isn't that amazing to use. Something like a Rat's Nest is going to be just as good, I'd say. The Cirrus Hat, probably going to be very good as well. Plenty of choices, I'd say. By no means do you have to run an Abyssus on this. It's just that I'm softcore. I'm coming back for the first time. I kind of should do an Abyssus, right? But you can see that my current stats here are 72 crit, 576 multi. Take that out, literally half my crit and 100 crit multi. So it's really easy to stack crit multi and crit on this type of a build, and with a better shield it will go through to the roof. And we are Inquisitor, so that we can ignore enemy resists. As well as that, you can get 30% more damage here if you used enough Flame Dash or Orb of Storms in the past few seconds. And I'll also grab Augury of Penitence for a bit more increased damage. But you do have to make sure before a boss fight that you drop an Orb of Storms, dash Orb of Storms, and that gives you 30% more damage. Otherwise, passive tree, pretty normal, I think. Gets the little LE wheel. We do get some accuracy nodes. Every point of int for us is also worth crit because of this node here. Since int is our lowest stat of the two, we do get 275 crit from this. And that's partially why I went Inquisitor as well, because I really wanted to up my crit chance. And it's pretty tough to get crit for shield charge since there's no weapon specific nodes. This is just a lot of base to begin with, but you need crit on top of that. So we've got Disemboweling, we've got Dismembering. Took some shield nodes down here. Not really too sure what I'm doing in the passive tree, but I think this is basically as good as I can make it, and just filling out some life. I think ideally we do actually use a threshold that gives us mana leech, probably life leech, some crit medium passives, and some other life nodes as well. Some shit like that, but pretty poor, so I'm not doing much or anything too outlandish. I haven't really fixed my flasks yet either. Got a diamond flask, but that's not going to be necessary soon, almost at 100% crit. Using a mana flask for mana at the moment since I don't have any mana leech, and otherwise, not much else to mention. Got my War Chief and Ancestral Protector set up, so that's for extra buffs. Using a dagger, but you can use a sword, a wand, whatever the hell, with a bit of extra fizz lightning, some crit multi. I will ideally craft some like double damage focus, I think, on these types of things, so that we can hit close to 30% double damage in the build. Otherwise, Orb of Storms is attached to Onslaught and Power Charge on crit. We have faster attacks, Onslaught, Fortify, and Shield Charge at the moment. And over here is Blood Rage, Hatred, and Herald of Ash. And we've also got Blood and Sand. Pretty basic build, don't know how far it'll go. I mean, obviously Abysses and stuff, not the most comfortable, but I could easily take it out, still have a very viable build. So up to you if you choose to use anything like that. Can make things like Raider as a more viable alternative, I'd say, just because it's going to be a lot faster, quite a bit nicer to play. But Inquis is pretty good for hitting really hard in that 1 or 2 shots. That's about it though. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I got a more endgame-ish video for you next time. See you next time.